Hello, this is Marcia Melendez, your friendly Brooklyn Realtor, bringing you valuable information about business, real estate, and all things Brooklyn. Did anything good come out of the COVID-19 pandemic? It has been called the virus that shook the world, and the media continues to analyze the story of how people around the world lived through the pandemic, from lockdowns to massive funerals to political and personal protests. Here are some stats. 6 million people worldwide have died from the pandemic, and in the U.S. number, it approaches 1 million people. As bad and final as death can be, many more of us suffer the ongoing consequences. National economies were shut down. Our children lost at minimum 1 whole year of in-person school, the effects of which still linger as teachers and parents try to bring students up to par with their school grade averages. Families were separated, often for long periods, due to ongoing health and work issues, and many more people suffered in isolation, and some of us are still suffering. I think what made the most impact on people and families was the loss of certainty and not being able to have the normal routine of our daily life. We thrive on routine and comfort. We also lost the ability of being able to plan for the future. I don't know about you, but our family was basically in shock and disbelief for months. I woke up every day thinking, dear Lord, what is going to happen today? What bad news are we going to be subjected to? And worse, the feelings of not being able to do anything constructive on a daily basis because we were existing in this kind of limbo. But what about the good? For our own mental health's sake, we need to take stock of the situation. Now, with the government's massive vaccination effort, we are trying to return to some sense of normalcy. We have the time to reflect upon and categorize all of the bad things that the pandemic did to us. This process is ongoing and will be for a while. But what about the positive thing? All respect to anyone who lost a loved one. Our family lost a cousin and numerous acquaintances and friends from COVID-19. Now we have time to reflect on the good things that came out of this global pandemic. What I appreciated about the pandemic was the opportunity to spend at-home time with our immediate family. Everyone thinks I'm a social butterfly, but believe me, I love the comfort of my home. We work so hard to create beautiful homes for ourselves and our families, and often we don't even get the chance to enjoy them because we're so busy working hard to provide a nice home. And on and on and on. The pandemic gave us time home with our children and with those who were closest to us. Yes, even though family can be a pain, it comes with the territory. And I could not imagine having to have lived by myself for all the months that we were on lockdown. Among the many lessons of the pandemic was the undeniable importance of the outdoors in our everyday life. As we emerge from the collective experience of being anchored at home, we can consider and celebrate the way in which gardens, along with the plants they know and love, shape the meaning of home and community. I've always been a gardener. I've always loved working outside, and that was such a solace for me, being able to go out and commune with nature on a one-on-one basis and having that space that we call our own, that we could go to every day without worrying about whether we were going to be exposed to people that were sick. It was just such a wonderful thing to be at home in our yard. It brought a greater awareness to mental health issues in adults and in children. We had the opportunity to learn to enjoy our own company. This has been one of the best things I think that came out of the whole COVID-19 pandemic, because we're still talking about mental health issues today. So now we finally have an opportunity to recognize that mental health is a disease that's very prevalent and it could happen to anybody, and that we all have a right to get help if we need it, suffering from a mental and emotional problem. We had the opportunity to learn better health habits, from frequent routine hand washing to wearing masks to prevent from getting infections. Strange that it seems it took a global pandemic to explain and make us realize how important it was to wash our hands frequently and cover our mouths before coughing. Wow, how revolutionary was that? More of us were able to attend different types of events over Zoom, which we might never had the opportunity to. Though I enjoyed making the joke about, oh Lord, not a Zoom meeting, we will permanently be using this mode of communication on a more often basis. When you're on Zoom, you can experience different cultures. You get a chance to meet with people from across the world, get just a chance to work together. Many of us have been working from home, some more effectively than others, we have to admit. But this method of working is here to stay, if not permanently, at least for some staff during certain periods, kind of like a hybrid system that a lot of companies are trying out now. For instance, my son is a manager at Strayer University, and his team works remotely from home at 3 days a week, one of which is Friday, how convenient, and they only come into the office 2 times per week. So it's created a lot of flexibility for the job market. Finally, as we were confined to our homes and thrown out of our usual routines, people discovered skills and talents that they didn't even know that they possessed. A case in point is Angel, my hubby, who has always had a liking for art, but missed his opportunity to go to art and design school here in New York City. Well, lo and behold, during the pandemic, he became an artist. After umpteen years in the workforce, he rediscovered his inner artist and started producing pieces in mixed media, and has even sold a couple of them. Wow, how wonderful is that? Me, I just spent all my time learning how to make YouTube videos, and I love it. I'm a teacher at heart, and I really use the platform to share my knowledge of real estate, wealth building, and business. I have developed a lot of skills, and I'm enjoying the process of making videos a whole lot. As I spoke with my colleagues and family about this subject, a constant theme was the big boost that many small and local businesses received during COVID-19. Yes, there were many challenges for local retail businesses, with a big decrease in their walk-in customers, and for their landlords like us who tried to keep up with the expenses of our building while our tenant was unable to pay his rent. It was very challenging, believe me. But overall, I think small businesses really prospered during COVID. A lot of them were born and thrived during the pandemic. Remember the Chinese quote about challenges leading to opportunities? This was a perfect example, and it proved to be a silver lining for many businesses who were forced to find different ways of operating and expanding, a lot of them to online sales. And this caused their business to skyrocket due to the much wider customer base that they now were able to access. So for small businesses, a lot of them took off during COVID. And what about all the kids that started businesses during COVID-19? I think that was so awesome. Some of the big corporations found additional streams of income also by adjusting their business model or expanding their online business offering. I know they're happy, but you know what? Retail will never be the same again. There was also a greater awareness of racial disparities in just about everything. Being a person of color, we are very well aware of this, but coronavirus provided a greater awareness to everyone else, especially those who like to think we all have the same level of opportunities in this, our beloved US of A. The virus brought to the surface and emphasized our country's inequality in everything from health care access to food and access to decent education. I can only hope that major positive changes occur out of all of this newfound awareness. The pandemic has caused great upheaval in our lives, and we are learning to live in this new normal, as things will never be the same as they were before. What about you and your family? What are some of the good things that you managed to extract from the pandemic? Why not leave me a comment below? Till the next time.